It's been a busy day, as you can tell from my voice. We started at 7:30 this morning, launching Generation 21, the new DCU Graduate Attributes Initiative with DCU Governing Authority, and I have to go off to the British Embassy now for something else, so that's that sort of a day. But this is something I didn't want to miss, that's why I'm here. I think it's a very important development. I know we have a lot of people from DCU here, but I know I'm also conscious that we have a number of visitors here, and I should really start off by welcoming them, particularly those of you from the enterprise sector. And that's really my first point. The branding of DCU that we're pursuing at the moment, the one that we're projecting, is that of a university of enterprise. And that means a lot of different things. It means about being enterprising within the university. It means about forming and shaping enterprising graduates. But it also means a university that engages with the enterprise sector in a most effective fashion. We already have the highest density of SFI-funded industry academic partnerships of any university in the country. That stands up. We already have the highest ranking in the Times Higher global rankings of universities for industry engagement of any of the Irish universities. This development today, I think, is another manifestation of this. I remember visiting the school a couple of months back and talking about this, what I felt was a major opportunity, and I suppose in recognising the various competencies that were within the school itself, and I felt there was really something that could be done here, and I must say I am hugely impressed by what has been drawn together, and really there's nothing particularly new here. It's drawing together existing competencies in a coherent fashion. That's the important development itself. It's a recognition of a major possibility for Ireland, and I think this has been well endorsed by a number of key players, and I know Paul Rellis of Microsoft in that major document that was produced in the past 12 months highlighted that as a major opportunity for Ireland, but it requires a coherent, high-level research base for this. The other aspect of this, I think that's very important for me, is that it has potential then for cooperation with the cloud commerce activity in the business school and the Link Research Centre. And in fact, to me, the major opportunity for DCU is the combination of the activities within CloudCORE here and that in the business school to have a really strong bimodal element to the university itself. And with a focus on the major opportunity of developing a cloud technology centre, as the competency centres are now called, a cloud technology centre here at DCU, based on the significant interdisciplinary competence that is here, and based on substantial and growing engagements with the enterprise sector in this space. I know there's people here from Google, people here from IBM, people here from Microsoft, people here from Symantec, and that's the length of the list I remember, and I know there's others here from enterprise, but it's really a partnership with you in terms of research and development and the application that we're very interested in. So I'm here really to applaud Ray and his team, because I know there's a lot of effort under the school guidance of Mike Scott to put this together. I think that's very important. It is a collective effort, and it is one that's reaching out already across the faculties to build a strong case. It's exactly what we want to see at DCU. The other adjective that we use in DCU is research intensive. To me, it's a core aspect of any university that you have a strong intensity of research, and that's happening right across the four faculties, and it's fantastic to see it come together here in a coherent fashion. And I know the grouping here are applying for what is our designation, UDRC, University Designated Research Centre. I think that's going into the process shortly. And again, that's for us here the first step on a platform that can move up to scaling up to large-scale initiatives, large-scale research centres, and there's a strong track record of that happening on campus already. So I think for me the key thing is that this is a coherent gathering of competencies in an area that's important to Ireland, of importance to Ireland, an area that's of importance to the enterprise dimension in Ireland, and an area where we can actually deliver value back out into the economy itself. And for that reason I applaud it very strongly. It certainly will have my support, I can tell you, state that publicly. I really want to see that whatever we can do to embrace cloud technology here at DCU right across all its facets, we will do so. There will be an interesting development reflecting this next week. We'll be launching DCU Online, DCU as a strategy and a roadmap, really indicating that DCU is embracing a future of education that is blended. And as part of that launch and as part of that roadmap, we'll be piloting with Google their Chromebooks with a significant number of students right across the faculties here. They'll be all cloud-based devices. And with a view to, ideally next year, for incoming students next year, that all students, incoming students, will be handed a device such as that. So that recognizing that the acquisition of information, coupled to digital pedagogy is through that modality. So that a blended experience for students on campus and off campus. I think doing this next week, we'll be the first university, not only in Europe, but in the broader EMEA region, that's actually doing that. Okay, again, a significant innovation, but cloud-based, and I think reflecting and reinforcing what's going on here. So anyway, I'm going to stop pretty shortly, but really just to congratulate all those involved. I know from my own past experience, all the effort behind the scenes that it needs to actually do this. This is not signing a document and making things happen. There's a lot of dialogue, a lot of tough stuff, a lot of arguments and everything that has to be grossed, and but ultimately the development of a critical mass in a key important area for the university, for the nation, is what the big prize is here. And I say congratulate Ray, but I know there's a lot of people in the school itself, a lot of people in the broader computing space in the university that are supporting this. So congratulations, co-gorgeous, and I look forward to seeing CloudCORE developing further into the future. And I know you have a major event coming down the line in Oira, I told you, a cloud event in the Crown Plaza in a number of weeks' time, with some significant speakers of that, which again will reinforce the message. So congratulations on it. If this is a formal launch, this is a virtual bottle of champagne that I'm smashing against it. In the current economic climate, you'll have to just imagine the bubbles coming out of the cloud. Anyway, go gorgeous, and may CloudCORE grow from strength to strength.
Thanks very much, Breen. That's brilliant. I'm delighted that you can make it here this evening, and I really appreciate it. I know you're really tight for time. So at this stage, I won't do any more Irish on it. I'll quickly introduce Mike, who is also a very good Irish speaker, I hear. Mike Scott is the head of School of Computing, and what I want to do is just ask Mike to give us a few words as well about computing and CloudCORE.
I remember recently, a couple of days ago actually, Tina G rang me up and asked me would I be interested in getting involved in the programme we're doing. The first question was, do you speak Irish? My answer was no, and that was the end of the conversation. So there you go. Cloud computing, we're all very excited about the technology. Right? For us, it's primarily about the technology. And I would say it's very significant. I remember as an MSc student in Trinity College back in the early 70s, my task was to build this huge electronic device to do some calculation or other. And I remember going to a meeting of some American company had come visiting, and they were making a presentation. And they were showing how you could, on a single bit of silicon, you could actually put a tiny little, pretty useless computer. The company were called Intel. It was a little 4-bit computer. It was really pretty useless. It couldn't do very much. And I remember thinking, this doesn't look so great. And I remember thinking, what's all the fuss about? You know, and then I remember also thinking, it's not really surprising that they could do that, you know, because we're aware of where the technology was going, what the technology was capable of. And it was only a few days later that it hit me. This changes everything. You know? And we have those moments in the development of technology. I remember many years later, here in the School of Computing, my colleague Alan Smeaton called us into a room, and he was going to show us something, demonstrate something to us, and we were all crowded around what was called a VDU. I hope everyone knows what VDU is. And all he was demonstrating, the first time I'd ever seen it, it was the internet. It was a primitive website. Right? It was pretty ropey looking, and it was pretty flickery looking, and it wasn't all that impressive. I remember thinking, this doesn't look so great. I remember thinking, what's all the fuss about? Then I think it is not really surprising that the technology can do this kind of thing. And again, it took a few days later for it to settle in on me. This changes everything. And I'm sure we all remember moments like that ourselves. Everyone here remembers moments like that. Perhaps the first time you ever used the Google search engine. You typed in a search term, and then whack, back came the answer. And you realized everything's changed, you know. So the cloud is a bit like that, in my opinion. The cloud is a new coming together of existing technologies, and who's doing that?
Wasn't me.
Wasn't me.
No, I just want to switch mine off.
It's a confluence of existing technology which is creating a new paradigm, a new fascinating context for technology to develop, a new whole direction for it to develop. And of course, researchers rush to new challenges like air rushes to fill a vacuum, right? And that's exactly what we're doing here, right? We're fascinated by the issues, the problems, the challenges that arise in the context of cloud computing, and we want to get in there quick, and we want to be part of it. Now, we're at the start of something here, right? So the cloud, the whole thing around cloud computing is still just cranking up, it's still just beginning. And now is the time to get on board. You don't wait around for a few years until you decide, is it going to take off, is it really going to happen? You don't. That's not what our role is to do. Our role is really, as Ray has illustrated, to just go dive in there pretty recklessly. As an American admiral once said, damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead. You go for it, you know, and that's what we certainly intend to do in the School of Computing. Now, as has been indicated already, this is not all brand new and strange, right? The technologies have been around for a while. We in the school have been very involved in the development and in research that is extremely relevant to the cloud, right? So for us, it's a sense, it's a continuum. It's not something completely different. It's a continuum of what we're doing. It's a new application for what we're doing. And we have our existing strengths, our existing CSETs and research bodies. We have LERO, we have CNGL, we have Clarity, we have SciSim. All these bodies independently have their own take on the web. They have their own interest on the web, so we can draw on strengths that already exist there. So we're hoping to get in there quick and make a bit of a splash, right, in the cloud scene. And I have to thank Ray and encourage him for his enthusiasm for having led the charge. Often in organizations, I don't know, some people have different views on whether things should happen from the top down or from the bottom up, right? And in this case, it's been an interesting combination of the both, because the president himself has been pushing us a bit from the top, you know, cloud computing, do something. And his energy from the top has been met from Ray's energy up from the bottom, saying, yeah, this is interesting, let's do it. You know? And I think that's perhaps a good way to progress. So I'm very hopeful that we will establish a strong presence in the cloud scene. And we're very ready to work with industry to the extent that we can, and we hope they'll work closely with us. Okay, no, that's all I'm going to say.
Thanks very much, Mike, for describing me as reckless and I'm not as good as these guys at talking, so I had to make notes. And it's actually printed, but it's in a ball here at the bottom of the moment. Today is a culmination of a lot of hard work. A lot of colleagues involved in this, and I'm just sort of the figurehead here, and I'm glad to be actually involved with the caliber of researcher that DCU and the School of Computing has been able to attract over the years and generate, because I see a lot of those people that are graduates of ourselves, our institution, who are back here, and they're doing work with us again, which is brilliant. Since we started as a research group, which was 2 members, you couldn't really constitute a research group with 2 members, but we've been looking to attract these dedicated, enthusiastic researchers, as I've said, and these are leaders, and we've grown until this day now where we have 17 full-time academic researchers. That doesn't include our postdocs or our PhD students. And that's not just within the School of Computing. We have colleagues which are in electronic engineering and with business school, UCC, AIT, etc. I'm here to do really a thank you to a lot of people who put in an awful lot of effort. There's a lot of our information on the type of work we are involved in and some of our linkages up on the walls, so this can facilitate a very short speech on my behalf, and we can all get back to the food very, very quickly. CloudCORE core members have successfully attracted just over €500,000 in grants from SFI, Enterprise Ireland, Irish Research Council for Engineering and Technology, IBM and Ericsson's. And this is why we're at a stage where we can actually do a launch. We've done something real now, and we have this momentum, and we're going to build on it. And I'd like to thank the President, who's just exited the building, Bree McGrath, our industry partners, OBPR, especially Declan Raftery, who's been very, very helpful. In the business school, particularly Dr. Theo Lynn, for all his work, and the School of Electronic Engineering, Dr. Gabriel Fionter, who is here in the back there, here, Gabby. Fionter and link researcher Ciara McAnbard. External collaborators in UCC and the Software Research Institute in Athlone Institute of Technology. And this event, which we had a huge amount of preparation had to be done to put it together, and that included the President's Office, Patricia Lacey, Jim Doyle, Christine Steers, Gary Conway, Deirdre Winter, ISS, and anybody who knows me, because it seems like everybody was pitching in, and we've done a lot of work in a very short space of time just trying to get this off the ground just for this evening. So enjoy the food provided, and feel free to meet up with the team members. You'll see their information up. You can scan it with QR codes up on the walls here, and the project information as well, so if you want somebody to have a talk about. But the event is really just to be enjoyed. It's to get together, do a bit of mingling, have a chat, eat cocktail sausages, and have a good time. And thanks.